What if I told you that the smallest planet in our solar system holds the key to how you think, communicate, and process the world around you? Hey, beautiful souls! Welcome back to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology. Today we're diving deep into Mercury, the swift messenger planet that governs your mind, your voice, and the way you connect with others. Whether you're constantly misunderstood, struggle to express yourself, or feel like your brain operates on a completely different frequency than everyone else's, understanding your Mercury placement might just be the missing piece of your cosmic puzzle. So let's explore everything you need to know about Mercury in astrology, from its mythology and core themes to how it expresses itself through the zodiac signs and houses. In Greek mythology, Mercury was the messenger of the gods, swift, clever, and able to move between the mortal world and the divine realm. The Greeks knew him as Hermes, the god of communication, travel, commerce, and even trickery. Mercury wore winged sandals that allowed him to fly between worlds at incredible speed. This imagery perfectly captures the planet's astrological essence: quick thinking, rapid communication, and the ability to adapt and change direction at a moment's notice. But Mercury wasn't just a messenger. He was also the patron of merchants, thieves, travelers, and scholars. This tells us something important. Mercury energy is morally neutral. It's about the exchange of information, the movement of ideas, not necessarily about truth or ethics. Mercury can be used to enlighten or deceive, to connect or manipulate. In astrology, Mercury rules over our rational mind, our logical processes, and the way we gather and share information. It's the planet of curiosity, learning, and intellectual exploration. So what exactly does Mercury govern in the birth chart? Firstly, communication. This is Mercury's primary domain: how you speak, write, and express your thoughts. Your communication style, your voice, your choice of words, all Mercury. It rules thinking and learning. Mercury rules your cognitive processes, how you learn new information, how you problem solve, how your brain is naturally wired. Are you a visual learner, or do you need to hear things explained? Do you think in linear steps or make intuitive leaps? That's all Mercury. It's information processing. This includes how you take in data from your environment, how you analyze it, and how quickly you can respond. Mercury is your mental operating system. It's short distance travel and movement. While Jupiter rules long journeys and higher education, Mercury governs your daily commute, short trips, errands, and general movement through your immediate environment. It's siblings and early education. Mercury also has dominion over siblings, neighbors, and your early school experiences, essentially your first social connections and learning environments. And lastly, commerce and exchange. So buying, selling, negotiating, trading, any kind of transaction or exchange falls under Mercury's influence. Mercury moves quickly through the zodiac, spending about 2 to 3 weeks in each sign. This rapid movement reflects its changeable, adaptable nature. Now let's explore how Mercury expresses itself through each of the 12 zodiac signs. Remember, your Mercury sign reveals how you think and communicate. Mercury in Aries, or the first house. Mercury in Aries thinks fast and speaks even faster. This placement gives you a direct, no-nonsense communication style. You cut straight to the point and have little patience for long-winded explanations. Your mind is sharp and competitive. You love a good debate and aren't afraid of intellectual confrontation. You think independently and make quick decisions, sometimes impulsively. The challenge: you might speak before thinking, interrupt others, and come across as aggressive when you're just being efficient. Mercury in Taurus, or the second house. With Mercury in Taurus, your thinking is deliberate and methodical. You need time to process information and don't like being rushed to conclusions. Your communication style is calm, steady, and practical. You have a beautiful speaking voice and may express yourself well through singing. You think in concrete terms. Abstract theories don't interest you unless they have real-world application. The challenge: you can be mentally stubborn, resistant to changing your mind once it's made up, and slow to adapt to new information. Mercury in Gemini, or the third house. Mercury rules Gemini, so this is one of its most comfortable placements. Your mind is quick, curious, and endlessly adaptable. You're a natural communicator who can talk to anyone about anything. You have variety and get bored easily with repetitive tasks. You're excellent at multitasking and connecting disparate ideas. You think in words and often process your thoughts by talking them out. The challenge: mental restlessness, scattered focus, and a tendency toward superficiality if you don't develop depth alongside breadth. Mercury in Cancer, or the fourth house. Mercury in Cancer thinks emotionally and intuitively. Your mind is deeply connected to your feelings and you process information through your emotional body. You have an excellent memory, especially for emotional experiences and personal histories. Your communication style is nurturing and empathetic, but you can be indirect when you feel vulnerable. You think in images and stories rather than pure logic. The challenge: taking things personally, difficulty being objective, and letting mood influence your judgment too much. Mercury in Leo, or the fifth house. With Mercury in Leo, you think creatively and expressively. You communicate with warmth, confidence, and natural dramatic flair. You're a natural storyteller who knows how to capture an audience's attention. Your thinking is broad and generous, though you can be fixed in your opinions. You speak with authority and expect to be heard. Your mind is drawn to creative problem solving and self-expression. The challenge: pride can make it hard to admit when you're wrong, and you might dominate conversations without realizing it. Mercury in Virgo, or the sixth house. Mercury also rules Virgo, making this another powerful placement. Your mind is analytical, detail-oriented, and highly discriminating. You excel at critical thinking and have a gift for spotting errors and inconsistencies. Your communication is precise and practical, often focused on improvement and problem solving. You're a natural researcher and love organizing information into useful systems. The challenge: overthinking, mental anxiety, being overly critical of yourself and others, and getting lost in details while missing the bigger picture. Mercury in Libra, or the seventh house. Mercury in Libra gives you a diplomatic and balanced mind. You're skilled at seeing multiple perspectives and can argue any side of an issue. Your communication style is charming, tactful, and socially aware. You think in relationships, always considering how ideas connect and relate to each other. You're drawn to aesthetics and can discuss art, beauty, and harmony eloquently. The challenge: indecisiveness, people-pleasing in your communication, and difficulty taking a firm stance when it might create conflict. Mercury in Scorpio, or the eighth house. With Mercury in Scorpio, your mind goes deep. You're not interested in surface level information. You want to understand the hidden motivations, the psychological undercurrents, the secrets beneath the surface. Your communication is intense and penetrating. You're an excellent researcher and investigator. You think strategically and rarely reveal everything you're thinking. The challenge: suspicious thinking, difficulty trusting information at face value, and a tendency toward mental obsession or power games in communication. Mercury in Sagittarius, or the ninth house. Mercury in Sagittarius gives you a philosophical and expansive mind. You think in big pictures and broad concepts rather than small details. You're an enthusiastic communicator who loves sharing ideas and inspiring others. You're naturally optimistic in your thinking and drawn to subjects like philosophy, religion, and foreign cultures. You speak bluntly and value honesty over tact. The challenge: overlooking important details, being preachy or dogmatic, and making exaggerated statements you believe in the moment but can't back up. Mercury in Capricorn, or the 10th house. With Mercury in Capricorn, your thinking is serious, structured, and goal-oriented. You have a strategic mind that's always planning several steps ahead. Your communication style is authoritative and professional. You prefer proven methods over experimental approaches. You think in terms of practicality, utility, and long-term consequences. You're excellent at organizing complex information into hierarchies and systems. The challenge: mental rigidity, pessimistic thinking, difficulty with spontaneity, and communication that can come across as cold or overly formal. Mercury in Aquarius, or the 11th house. Mercury in Aquarius gives you an innovative and unconventional mind. You think outside the box naturally and often arrive at conclusions that surprise others. You're drawn to progressive ideas, technology, and social reform. Your communication style is friendly but somewhat detached. You're more comfortable discussing ideas than emotions. You're brilliant at pattern recognition and systems thinking. The challenge: being so future-focused, you miss present realities. Stubborn attachment to your unique views, and communication that can seem impersonal or emotionally disconnected. Mercury in Pisces, or the 12th house. Mercury is in its detriment in Pisces, meaning it functions differently here. Your mind is intuitive, imaginative, and non-linear. You think in images, feelings, and symbols rather than words and logic. You're highly empathic and can absorb information from the collective unconscious. Your communication is poetic and emotionally nuanced. You understand things that can't be easily explained. The challenge: unclear thinking, difficulty articulating your insights, susceptibility to confusion or deception, and trouble distinguishing facts from fantasy. Now let's discuss the elephant in the room: Mercury retrograde. This phenomenon has become almost legendary in popular culture, often blamed for everything from computer crashes to relationship miscommunications. But what's really happening during these periods? So what is Mercury retrograde? Mercury retrograde occurs when Mercury appears to move backward through the zodiac from Earth's perspective. This is an optical illusion caused by the difference in orbital speeds between Earth and Mercury. Imagine you're in a car that starts to pass another car. From your perspective, the other car appears to be moving backward, even though both cars are still moving forward. Mercury goes retrograde 3 to 4 times per year, each period lasting approximately 3 weeks. These periods are preceded and followed by shadow phases, where Mercury slows down before the retrograde and speeds up afterward, extending the overall influence to about 6 to 8 weeks per cycle. Astrologically, Mercury retrograde is associated with miscommunications, technology failures, travel delays, and the need to revisit or revise previous work. It's often seen as a time when the normal flow of information and communication becomes disrupted or unclear. However, Mercury retrograde isn't just about problems. It's actually an excellent time for reflection, revision, and reconnection. The re words are key: research, review, revise, reconnect, and restart. It's a natural cycle that encourages us to slow down, double check your work, and revisit important conversations or decisions. During Mercury retrograde periods, it's wise to back up important files, double check travel arrangements, and be extra clear in your communications. Avoid signing major contracts if possible, and be patient with technology glitches. Use this time for editing, organizing, and completing projects rather than starting entirely new ones. The effects of Mercury retrograde can vary depending on which sign it occurs in. For example, Mercury retrograde in practical Virgo might focus on work and health issues, while Mercury retrograde in relationship-oriented Libra might bring up past partnerships or require diplomatic solutions to old problems. About 18% of people are born with Mercury retrograde. If this is you, you may process information differently than others, often going deeper, questioning more, and needing extra time to formulate your thoughts before speaking. If you were born with Mercury retrograde in your natal chart, these periods may actually feel easier for you. You're naturally wired for the introspected, revisionary energy of retrograde. Mercury's influence in your chart is further modified by its aspects to other planets and its house position. These factors add layers of meaning to your Mercury placement. So let's look at the major Mercury aspects. Mercury-Sun aspects enhance self-expression and mental clarity, but can sometimes create ego involvement in intellectual matters. Mercury-Moon aspects blend thinking with feeling, creating intuitive communicators who may be influenced by their emotions when processing information. Mercury-Venus aspects add charm and diplomacy to communication, often creating people who are naturally likable and persuasive. Mercury-Mars aspects speed up mental processes and can create sharp, decisive communicators who may sometimes be overly aggressive or impatient in discussions. Mercury-Jupiter aspects expand mental horizons and often create teachers, philosophers, or people who think in broad, optimistic terms. Mercury-Saturn aspects add structure and discipline to thinking, but can sometimes create overly critical or pessimistic mental patterns. Mercury-Uranus aspects create innovative, original thinkers who may have sudden insights or unconventional communication styles. Mercury-Neptune aspects add intuition and creativity to communication, but can sometimes create confusion or tendency toward deception or self-deception. Mercury-Pluto aspects intensify mental processes and create people who can penetrate to the heart of matters, but may become obsessed with certain ideas. The house position of Mercury shows the life area where your communication skills and mental energy are most focused. Mercury in the first house emphasizes personal communication and self-expression, while Mercury in the seventh house focuses on communication within partnerships and relationships. Mercury in the 10th house might indicate a career involving communication or information processing. Mercury plays a crucial role in relationship compatibility, often determining whether two people can truly understand and communicate with each other effectively. Mercury compatibility is about more than just getting along. It's about whether you and your partner can engage in satisfying conversations, share ideas effectively, and understand each other's communication styles. Strong Mercury connections create relationships where partners feel heard and intellectually stimulated. Partners with compatible Mercury placements often find that they naturally speak the same language, whether that's sharing a love of deep philosophical discussions, appreciating each other's sense of humor, or having similar approaches to problem solving. Same element Mercury signs, so fire, earth, air, water, often communicate well together, as do complementary signs that balance each other out. For example, Mercury in detail-oriented Virgo might appreciate Mercury in big picture Sagittarius for bringing broader perspectives, while Sagittarius Mercury benefits from Virgo Mercury's attention to practical details. Some Mercury combinations require more work to communicate effectively. For instance, direct Mercury in Aries might clash with diplomatic Mercury in Libra, or quick-moving Mercury in Gemini might frustrate methodical Mercury in Taurus. However, these differences can also be complementary if both partners are willing to understand and appreciate different communication styles. Mercury may be the smallest planet in our solar system, but its influence on our daily lives is enormous. From the moment we wake up and check our phones to our last conversation before bed, Mercury is constantly at work, helping us process, communicate, and connect. Understanding your Mercury placement offers invaluable insights into your natural communication style, learning preferences, and mental patterns. Whether your Mercury is in practical Taurus or innovative Aquarius, direct Aries, or diplomatic Libra, embracing your unique Mercury signature can help you communicate more effectively and think more clearly. Remember, Mercury retrograde isn't something to fear. It's a natural rhythm that reminds us to slow down, reflect, and ensure our communications are clear and our information is accurate. Like the mythological messenger god it's named after, Mercury in astrology serves as a bridge, connecting our inner thoughts to our outer expression, our individual minds to the collective conversation. The next time you find yourself in perfect flow during a conversation, learning something with ease, or having a brilliant insight, thank Mercury for facilitating that cosmic connection. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into Mercury's astrological influence, make sure to subscribe to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology for more planetary explorations. So what's your Mercury sign, and how do you see it playing out in your communication style? Share your experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how Mercury expresses itself uniquely in your life. Until next time, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video, beautiful souls.